Fort Worth has a neighborhood where you actually don't need a car, and it's packed into a 1.5 mile stretch where 20 restaurants, 5 museums, luxury mid-rises, townhomes, condos, and Trinity Park all converge. Now, West 7th isn't trying to be suburban Texas. It's urban, energetic, and it's really the only place in Fort Worth where you can walk to your favorite coffee shop, work from a rooftop bar, and hit dinner all without getting behind the wheel. And it also has $2 billion developments breaking ground this year. So just being real, the energy is about to get on a whole nother level out there. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Devin and I help people relocate to Fort Worth every single week. Today, I'm gonna walk you through the West 7th neighborhood and we're gonna explore what makes this area so vibrant and special. So the things that we're gonna dive into are the apartment and housing scene, the restaurants, the nightlife that everyone talks about, and the massive developments that are absolutely changing everything. By the end of this video, you'll know whether West 7th is the right fit for you or not. Now, here's what you need to know up front. West 7th is Fort Worth's most walkable urban neighborhood. You can actually live here without owning a car, and you're 5 minutes from downtown Fort Worth, and you're surrounded by the Cultural District, which has 3 art museums all within walking distance. So guys, if you're thinking about moving to Fort Worth or a surrounding area, and you want to talk through the different neighborhoods that might fit your lifestyle, I got the complete blueprint to do this. Give me a call or shoot me a text, or even send me an email. My information is also in the pinned description below. Let's find the right Fort Worth neighborhood for your vibe so that you don't regret it later. Now, let's break down West 7th and see what it's truly all about. So the West 7th neighborhood sits just across the Trinity River from downtown Fort Worth. So you take 7th Street Bridge over the river and you're pretty much in the neighborhood. The heart of West 7th runs along West 7th Street from University Drive East to Crockett Street. So what exactly is the vibe? Well, it's urban, it's walkable, and it's extremely energetic. This is the neighborhood where mid-rise apartments and converted lofts mix into newer luxury builds, creating a street scene that feels more like uptown in Dallas than traditional Fort Worth. Young professionals, TCU grads, and relocators from bigger city are the core residents here, and people who prioritize nightlife and convenience over space and yards. The rhythm of West 7th is pretty simple. It's morning coffee runs turned into afternoon co-working spaces, turning into evening on the rooftop at the bar. So weekends bring crowds, live music spills into the streets, and there's a constant hum of activity that doesn't quit until almost 2 a.m. Now let's be clear, this lifestyle does come with a price. As of early 2026, the rent in West 7th was around $1,490 per month. Studios start around $1,200 and 1-bedrooms are $1,400 to $1,800, and 2 bedrooms go from $2,000 to $2,500 a month. And most West 7th apartments are going to be your luxury style apartments with granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, in-unit washer and dryer, wood plank flooring, big windows, and beautiful views downtown. So this is really why, honestly, West 7 isn't cheap, but it's worth it for most people. And you're paying a premium for the location and having entertainment at your doorstep. And if you compare West 7th to Uptown in Dallas, you're looking at about $500 to $800 less that you're paying in Fort Worth. The price difference alone is driving a lot of Dallas residents here to Fort Worth. But if you're looking to buy instead of rent, West 7th is pretty limited, but it has a growing inventory of condos and townhomes. Condos typically run $300,000 to $500,000 with, luxury lofts going a little bit higher, and townhomes are selling right now for $400,000 to $600,000. Parking is another cost that you really need to consider because street parking is pretty brutal on the weekends, and most apartment complexes only include maybe one covered spot for the resident. And one more thing to keep in mind is this area has a lot of corporate housing and short-term rentals, which means turnover is high and the neighborhood can feel pretty transient. Overall, West 7th costs more than suburban Fort Worth, but if you're coming from Dallas or Austin, you'll save money and you'll get more space. And if you want to buy, condos and townhomes right now are the move, and there's plenty of inventory coming in. So you save money on housing compared to Dallas, but oftentimes you may not notice it depending on how you live. Usually that money's going to go to restaurant and bars because that's what West 7th is really built around. You've got serious options when it comes to restaurants and nightlife. The original Rodeo Goat is the go-to spot for burgers and craft beer, and they have a patio that stays pretty packed. And trust me, you won't regret the food or the service there. Little Woodrow's is your spot to have cocktails and hang out on their massive patio and watch sports on their huge big screen TV outside. And Don Artemio is the upscale Mexican spot that doesn't disappoint. And you seriously have to try it if you're ever down there. And Avoco Coffee is personally my favorite in Fort Worth, and it's where students and remote workers spend a lot of their time. They have live music on top of great coffee and amazing vibes. And the nightlife is really what the area is known for. Places like Kung Fu Saloon have vintage arcade games, free skee ball, and private karaoke trailers. Now, rooftop bars and cocktail lounges stay open till about 2 a.m. on the weekends, and Montgomery Plaza anchors the retail space with shopping and local boutiques. And if you like outdoors, the Trinity Park offers 252 acres when you need green space and trails without going too far outside the neighborhood. So here's the reality. If you're not into the bar scene, West 7th is gonna feel extremely limited for you. And the neighborhood is built around nightlife and dining. There is also Sunday Fun Day and several brunch spots if that's your thing. So again, you have unlimited options in this area. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking West 7th sounds great, but I wonder how it compares to other Fort Worth neighborhoods. Well, that's the exact conversation that I have with relocators every single week. Reach out and let's talk through your lifestyle and priorities so that you end up in the right spot. All right, now here's the thing about comparing, neighborhoods in West 7th right now. The neighborhood that you're looking at today is about to look completely different in 3 years. And let me go ahead and explain to you why that is. Two major developments are about to completely transform West 7th. First, we have Westside Village. This is a $1.7 billion mixed-use development that broke ground earlier this year, March of 2026. This is 37 acres at University Drive and White Settlement Road. And when it's fully built out in 2035, Westside Village will include 880,000 square feet of office space, 238,000 square feet of retail, and 1,785 apartments, and a boutique hotel. Phase 1 includes 100,000 square feet of Class AA office buildings and 308 luxury apartments. Now, the office building will have ground floor retail, 2 restaurant concepts, and a private social club along with a jazz club. Now, this is truly the first of its kind in Fort Worth. Now, this is Fort Worth's first mass timber office building. Second, you have Van Zandt. This is an $83 million mixed-use project at the corner of Fouch Street and West 7th. This is a 9-story office building with retail space and apartments. The Van Zandt will be the first speculative office development built in Fort Worth since 2017, and the developer has already committed to not leasing any of the space to bars and nightclubs because they're truly trying to diversify the area from just a bar scene. So here's the trade-off. If you decide to move to West 7th, then you're locking in rates before these developments are finished, which means lower rents and less competition. But also keep in mind, you're also going to be dealing with a lot of, construction noise and traffic for the next few years. So it really just depends on what you can put up with. So with all these changes coming, you might be wondering if West 7th is even the right place for you. So let's break it down. West 7th is perfect if you're a young professional who wants to walk to work or to dinner and live in the urban environment. It's also perfect if you're relocating from Dallas, Austin, or another city and you want that urban energy without paying those Dallas prices. And it's especially perfect if you work remotely and you want coffee shops, co-working space, and the social scene built into your neighborhood. Now, West 7th isn't gonna be for you if you want quiet because, man, it's loud on the weekends. And if you value peace and space, then this neighborhood might frustrate you a little bit. And if you have kids, then there's no parks or playgrounds that are readily available, and there's no family-friendly activities. The vibe is pretty much adult. It's not gonna be for you if you hate crowds or traffic. And West 7th is also a temporary neighborhood for a lot of people. It's a great place to live, if you're in your 20s, early 30s, or you're just, early in your career and you want that urban living with a nightlife. But many residents eventually move out because they want more space and quiet and family-friendly environment. So it's truly a lifestyle choice, and it's great for some, but maybe not the right choice for others. Well, guys, that's West 7th for you. So Fort Worth's most walkable neighborhood, that's the answer to Uptown in Dallas. It's packed with restaurants and nightlife, luxury apartments, townhomes, condos, and new developments. And the area does have a lot to offer, but let's be real, it does have its downsides. West 7th can be loud on the weekends. The parking can be a nightmare. It's crowded, it's expensive compared to suburban Fort Worth. And if you want quiet and backyard space, this neighborhood is gonna drive you a little bit crazy. But if you wanna walk to dinner, work from coffee shops, and live in Fort Worth's only neighborhood that feels like a real metro city, then West 7th is gonna deliver that for you you every time. The developments coming online in the next few years are going to change the character of the area. So if you're considering this neighborhood now, it's really the time to get in before those prices start to jump. And if you're thinking about moving to West 7th or anywhere else in Fort Worth, I'd love to help you find the right neighborhood based on your lifestyle, commute, and your budget. You know, I'll walk you through West 7th, near South Side, Fairmont, Alliance, and every other Fort Worth or suburban neighborhood so that you can make the truly smart decision about where to live. Let's help you make the right decision when moving to Fort Worth. All right, guys, so as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I drop a new video on Fort Worth and surrounding suburbs every single week. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.